The Beatles were more than just a band. They were a cultural phenomenon. With fame on an unimaginable scale, the Fab Four, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, became the subject of countless rumors, myths, and conspiracy theories. Some are fun, some are bizarre, and some are downright spooky. Let's dive into the craziest Beatles fan theories ever and separate fact from fiction. One of the most infamous Beatles conspiracy theories is the Paul is dead rumor. This theory claims that Paul McCartney died in a tragic car accident in 1966 and was secretly replaced by a look-alike. Supposedly, the band left behind clues in their music and album covers. Fans point to songs like A Day in the Life, which mentions a car crash, or Revolution 9, which, when played backward, allegedly says, "Turn me on, dead man." The Abbey Road album cover is said to represent a funeral procession, with John as the preacher, Ringo as the undertaker, Paul, barefoot, as the corpse, and George as the gravedigger. Of course, Paul himself has denied this countless times, even cheekily titling his 1993 album, Paul is Live. Another wild theory suggests that the Beatles never actually existed. This claim argues that the band was a revolving group of actors, with different people playing the roles of John, Paul, George, and Ringo over the years. The proof consists of photos where band members look slightly different, height discrepancies, and changes in their facial features. While this theory sounds ridiculous, it's gained traction online among those who believe the music industry is one giant deception. Then there's the theory that John Lennon was assassinated by the government. While it's widely accepted that Mark David Chapman killed Lennon outside the Dakota in 1980, some believe there was a deeper conspiracy at play. They argue that Lennon's strong political activism and anti-war stance made him a target for the US government, particularly the FBI and CIA. John had been under surveillance by authorities for years, and some believe Chapman was either brainwashed or used as a pawn in a larger plot to silence the former Beatle. One of the strangest theories revolves around the Beatles and time travel. Some fans claim that the band had knowledge of future events, and their lyrics contained secret messages about things that hadn't happened yet. Others suggest that the Beatles themselves were time travelers, which would explain their rapid evolution in sound and style. Some even claim they were visited by extraterrestrials who influenced their music. Another popular theory states that Yoko Ono was a spy sent to break up the Beatles. Yoko has long been blamed for causing tension in the band, but this theory goes a step further, suggesting she was working on behalf of an unknown entity to destroy the Beatles from the inside. Whether it was the CIA, MI6, or a rival record company, some fans believe she had an agenda beyond just being John's partner. Then we have the theory that the Beatles secretly despised each other and faked their friendship. While it's true that tensions rose in the later years, especially during the Let It Be sessions, there's no evidence to suggest that they always hated each other. In reality, they had a complex relationship filled with love, rivalry, and creative clashes, like any other group of artists working closely together. Another outlandish claim is that the Beatles' music contains hidden satanic messages. Some conspiracy theorists argue that when you play certain Beatles songs backward, you hear sinister phrases. One example is Helter Skelter, which Charles Manson believed contained messages urging him to commit murder. Other tracks, like Revolution 9 and I Am the Walrus, are also cited as evidence of hidden dark meanings. In reality, the Beatles loved experimenting with sounds and studio effects, but there's no solid proof of any demonic intent. There's also a theory that Ringo Starr is actually the most talented Beatle, but history was rewritten to downplay his contributions. According to this idea, Ringo was the real genius behind many of the band's songs, but since he was the drummer, he was given less credit. Fans who support this theory believe that if you listen closely, Ringo's drumming, songwriting, and overall influence were just as critical to the Beatles' success as John and Paul's work. One of the most bizarre theories claims that the Beatles wrote music in an alternate dimension. This idea suggests that their songs were too revolutionary to have been created in the 1960s, and that they either accessed another reality or channeled their music from an unknown source. Some even say that the Beatles stole their songs from another timeline where they had already been written. Regardless of how absurd these fan theories sound, they all have one thing in common: people's endless fascination with the Beatles. Their music, impact, and legacy are so massive that fans can't help but speculate, analyze, and search for hidden meanings. Whether you believe in any of these theories or not, one thing is undeniable: the Beatles changed the world forever.